Let us try to solve the problem number 3 in part B of C# and .NET Lab. The problem is given as follows. Write a program to declare a class called distance that has the member variables feet and inch. Initialize the data using a constructor. Display their sum. And in the bracket they have said that use a constructor overloading. So let's start with the Visual Studio. I'm going to go to the file menu over here and I'm going to click on new and then select project. Now because they have not given any language as such, which language to be used, and because all the languages that are given over here are VB, so here if you notice that all are VB and the C# is starting at the end, I assume that they expect us to do it in the Visual Basic. So it is not mentioned, as even though it is not mentioned, I assume that it can be done using the Visual Basic. So let's go here and in the project I'm going to select the Visual Basic, and under Visual Basic I'm going to select a console application. So you have a console application even in the Visual Basic, and as usual you are supposed to change the name of the project as well as their location. I'm not going to do it. Let's click OK to create our project. So once the console application is created, you notice that you are given a sub main. Unlike the int main, you are given the sub main. So they said that create a class called as distance. So I'm going to go and create a class called as distance. I'll go to my Solution Explorer. So I have to go to the Solution Explorer. Again, the Solution Explorer is not there. Click on View and you will find the Solution Explorer there. So in the my project, I'm going to right click and say add, and I'm going to say either you can say new item or directly you can click on class and give the name. I will do the longer way. I'm going to click on the new item and under the new item I'm going to select the class and I'm going to give it the name as distance. Now putting .vb is optional because the Visual Basic, that is Visual Studio, is going to put the .vb for you. Once that is done, I'm going to click on the add over here. So I'm going to click on this add and I'm going to insert the new class over there. And what did they say over here? So we are supposed to create two member variable. One is called as feet, the other one is the inch. I'm going to go to the class over here, and in the class I'm going to declare dim, and I'm going to say feet comma inches, and I will take both of them as integer. Okay, that's done. This is what they have said, and they said that create a constructor. Now if you right click on here and if you don't know how to create a constructor during the examination, suppose if you don't know how to create a constructor, there are some quick actions over here that will give you some suggestion. Okay, I think it is not giving me a suggestion, but remember whether it is C# or this one, you type CTO, so you have this C and you there constant and so on, you get the option. Okay, find out where is the constructor. I think CTOR double tap will not. Okay, this is not going to work. How do you create a constructor? In any case, it is simple. Constructor is always a public method, public, and you have the constructor, that is a sub module. Remember, it is a sub module, and this module is new, new, you say, okay, new, and this is your constructor. Okay, so public sub new, unlike your other programming language wherein you give public and the method name, that is the name of the class. Here you are using the new, you are just overloading new. New is the constructor for that. Okay, first constructor, it does not take any parameter, and what does this first constructor will do? Okay, this is going to say feet dot, this is my feet which is already declared, so feet is equal to 0, that is it, and inches is equal to 0, so inch equal to 0. Okay, so with that inch is equal to 0. With that, you have the default constructor. That is the constructor which does not take any parameter. Let's select this one. So I'm going to select, click and select this one. Control C to copy it, and Control V to paste it. So I'm going to paste it, and I'm going to say if only the feet is given. So I'm going to say feet as integer. Okay. Now, some of you will get confused whether this is the feet or this is something else. So I'm going to just say ft as feet. Okay, so you know very well. So if ft is given as a parameter, so then you set it as ft. If nothing is given, you set both the feet and inches as 0. So both these feet and inches are set to 0. If suppose ft is given, some value is given, then first value set it as feet. Let me use Control C and Control V to paste it. And suppose if feet is given and inch is given, okay, inc I am going to say is also given. So let's say this is integer. Then I am going to say inc. So if both feet is given and inches are given, you set whatever value that is given. Okay, that is it. Then let me override a function. So I'm going to say public, okay, overrides. So where is this? So overrides. So overrides, and I'm going to say toString method. Okay, so that's it. Public overrides. Now, if you notice over here, I am not typing it. Okay, I just selected it. How do you get to the options? So let me go over here and let me read it. I said public override, and you notice that Visual Studio is going to tell you which are the ones that you can override. So you say public overrides and just double click on it. Visual Studio will do the needful thing for you. You don't need to do much of it. Now it's going to return mybase.string, which is not required. Now the problem is it added two things. Okay, so it's going to return something bad, so I want to return it something good here. So I'm going to say feet is nothing but the feet which is set there, feet. Then I'm concatenating. Remember, ampersand is same as plus in your C program. Here you concatenate, and I say and inches. Okay, feet and inch is I'm going to set it here, ampersand inch, in ch it should give me inch. Okay, so that is so many feet and so many inches. So I'm just printing it out. Now the next thing that they have said is we are supposed to override a we are supposed to write a method to calculate the distance. That is what they have said. Where is this? We are supposed, not distance, sorry. We are supposed to find the sum. Now, what is the meaning of saying sum? So let's first find out what is the actual meaning of it. So if you have one number 5, and if you want to find the sum of 5 and 6, you get some answer, no doubt. Okay. So this is it. So you will say that I know that this is very first standard mathematics. So you are given a one number 5 and the second number, you will get the third number. Okay, so this is different. Now let's look at this scenario. Suppose you have 50 rupees with you. Suppose you have 50 rupees with you. Then I am going to give you, so I'm going to give you, okay, 20 rupees. Okay, how much will you have? So you will have, definitely will say, sir, I will have 70 rupees. Okay, what did you do? You didn't sum, you added this. Okay, so the difference. I don't know whether you got the difference or not. You had 50 rupees with you. I gave you 20 rupees. You added this 20 rupees and you get 17. In other words, your original value, which was 50, is now changed to 70. Your value has changed. When you add, your value will change. When you sum, your value is not changing. You take two numbers and sum them together. 5 is not changing. Okay, in this case, 50 was one number, 20 was the other number. When you add, 50 is changed to 70. That is called as add. You change this first number itself. When you sum it, you don't change the first number nor you change the second number. You recreate a fresh number and then display it. Hope you get that thing. When you sum it, you get a very new number altogether. When you add it, your own number, existing number will change. So what did they say? They say that you are supposed to sum. So when you sum it, you will return something back. So let's say I'm going to say public, okay, and suppose say if I say shared. Now what is this shared? Okay, shared, it means to say that you are using in your C programming language, you use something called as static. Okay, the word static, not capitals, but static, the word static. So static is replaced by the word shared here. So public shared, let's say function, and I'm going to call this function as sum. It takes two distances, distance d1, sorry, you were writing it, I'm sorry, I'm used to the C programming, as distance, and the second number d2 as distance. Okay, and it's going to return a distance. Remember that. Okay, so let me press enter to make it. It's going to give me an error saying that I am not returning anything. I will return it back. So let's look at what is it. So you had this number 5 and you had this number 6, sorry 6, and you are going to return the value 11. Okay, so you had the number this is, let's assume that 5 is the distance. You had the distance 5, you had the distance 6, and you are going to return one more distance. So simple as that. Okay, so this is what you are going to do it. Let's go ahead and let's get the first distance. So I'm going to create two variables over here. So first one dim. You have f as integer, okay, 1 dim, I think f, and I'll take it here only, why to type it again, and I as one more integer. Okay, f is equal to, remember there are two parts are there. For this distance there are two parts. What are these two parts? One is feet, other one is the inches. So this distance what you are giving over here, so this d1 has two parts. One part is let's set it properly. So there are two parts over here. One, this, so not for this sum. Where am I putting it? For the d1, I have two parts. One part is the feet. Other part is the inch. Okay. So similarly, d2 will also have two parts. Okay, so d2 will also have the two parts. One is the feet, the other one is the inch. Okay, then you have to add the feet of D1 and D2, you also have to have the inches of D1 and D2. So let's do that thing. So here D1 dot feet I'm adding plus D2 dot feet I'm adding. Okay, two are there. And the same way inches also I'm going to add. Inches is equal to D1 dot inch plus D2 dot inch. However, you have a few problems there. And what is this few problems that you will encounter? Okay, one is so you know that 12 feet, 12 inches is equal to 1 feet. Okay, so what is the problem? Suppose if this first d1 dot inch is 10, then d2 dot inch is 5, then what is the sum of this? So 5, you know very well, this is 15. But what is the problem? 15 is not a inch. 15 has to be converted now. So out of 15, 12 means, out of 15, 12 means 1 inch, 1 feet. So 15, 12 inches is 1 feet. What is remaining? Remaining is 3. So this is 1 feet is 12 and remaining is 3. So inches what is to be retained here is 3 and this 1 feet has to be transferred here. So this is feet. So if it is beyond 12, you have to remove the feet out of it. So when you add the inches, what will happen is inches, when you add 2 inches together, if the inches, this sum goes beyond 12, then you have to just take the remainder that you get when you divide it by 12. So let me update this one. So the feet can have extra values coming from the distance. Now if you didn't get it, so what is this person is talking about? Okay, let me give you simple. Suppose some people don't know what is feet and inches. 1 hour, okay, if you didn't get it, for them only, 1 hour has 60 minutes. Okay, yes or no? Suppose, so you write 1 hour 30 minutes, it is valid. 1 hour 30 minutes is valid. Okay, you can write 2 hours 45 minutes, this is also valid. You can write 3 hours 55 minutes, it is valid. Okay, but suppose if you say 4 hours 67 minutes, then it is not valid. Why? Because the last value you can take in minutes is 60. Above 60, this is not the way of writing. Instead, you should have written it is 5 hours because 60 means 1 hour. And what is remaining after that is 07 minutes. Hope you get that thing. Okay, so when your time, when your clock is there, so when this clock starts from here and finally when it goes to 12 here, then it is 1 hour is over. You have to transfer this 60 as 1, not 60. This is in minutes. You transfer it and make it as hour, and what is remaining, that has to be done. In the same way, here our limit is 12. So if it is goes beyond 12, you transfer it. When you get this inches, if it goes beyond 12, you add it. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this feet. Feet is equal to whatever inches you got it divided by 12. So additional thing you do it, and then you make a correction. So how, what did you do over here? So I said 4 hours and 67 minutes. So what you did from here, you subtracted the 60 from here and transferred it to hours. So that is what I am doing it. I am transferring the extra inches to the feet and then when I do it, what is left over is the inches. So I'm going to say whatever mod 12 will be my answer. Okay, so if you write this mod 12 will be your answer. However, very important is you have to put a plus there. What is this? Feet is equal to old value of feet plus this. If you just put equal to, the feet itself will vanish altogether and you are left with nothing. Okay, so very important, put a plus here, old value plus new value. However, there is no plus for it, it is because you are updating it. Now let's create a new, okay, distance. Okay, so you say dim, let me do this, dim d3 is equal to, okay, you say as distance, you like this, okay, distance, you write like this, distance, and then you say d3 is equal to new distance. Okay, you do that thing. Okay, and then you supply the two value, one is the feet, other one is the inch, and then you return, like all good students you do that thing. So can I do reduce up to here? Is it alright with the Visual Basic? The answer is yes. Okay, then can I say return? Remember, I have to return a new distance. Remember, when you add two numbers you get a new thing, so I am returning return d3. Okay, this is all good students. Okay, this is what the bad student is going to do. Okay, they say that create a new distance and then return it. Okay, so what you are doing is with the feet and inches you create a new distance and return it. Now did you get that thing? So let's say x. Let me come back to my old story. So what did I say? You had a number 5 and you had a number 6. Oops. And you got the sum of it as 11. Yes, you supplied the number 5, you supplied the number 6, you got the new number. Where is this new number that you are getting? Is here. You get a new number, okay, which is of type distance. And what is the value? Value you have just calculated here, and here you all this value you calculated, and that you are supplying. You are getting a new number, as simple as that. Okay, so let's go back to the main module over here. So this is the module that has the main. If you have closed it accidentally, double click on this module 1 here. Okay, if you accidentally close it, instead of if you, some people have bad habit of just closing it, if you close it, double click there and it's going to open. Okay, so I need 3 numbers, so I'm going to say dim. Let's say x is the first number. I'm going to just reduce this. X is the first number, y is the second number, and r is the result of this number as distance. Okay, that's it. And I'm going to declare 2 other variables, dim I f comma I as integer. Okay, done. And then as usual in C# what you have, console dot write line, writ write line, and I'm going to say enter the values for first number, first distance. Okay, and I'm going to say console dot write, I'm going to put the right here because I don't want it to go to the next line, and I'm going to say feet is the first one. I put a space here, you notice that I put a space so that it looks neat, and I'm going to read it. So how do I read it? So feet f is equal to, so same thing, console dot read line, so same thing what you have in VB, however you have to convert it into integer. So you are going to say integer dot parse. How you do it in C? That's the same story that you have here. Okay, so there is nothing much, and I'm supposed to read the inches also. So I'm going to copy this, Control C, and I'm going to just paste it, Control V, and I'm going to say this is inch, and I'm going to put it for inch I. So this is inch, this is also inch. So you are reading feet and inches, and then create a x. So what is x is equal to new distance. F is the feet and I is the inch. This is for the first number. What about the second number? I'm going to copy this whole thing, select it, Control C it, and then go back and say Control V it. Enter the value for second distance. Same story, but the second distance is y. The first distance is x. Second distance is y. So that is it. And then you say, okay, console, where is the console? Okay, console dot write line, you say, and what you're going to say, okay, sum of, okay, sum of, let's say the first distance, console, should I put it over here? Okay, I'm going to just copy it because I have to write it many times. Console dot write line, sum of the first distance. First distance is x. However, you can directly put x. You have to exclusively call toString method of x, okay, because it will assume that it is a integer number. So sum of x, and let me copy it, Control C and Control V it, sum of y. So let me make it proper. Sum of this and let's say and this, and let me make it one more time, is equal to, is equal to, I'm getting it in one line. Okay, so don't worry, you have to get it, is it not? How do you get the number? So this is not right. Get the number. How do you get the result? You see how this so what is this I have written over here is r is equal to x plus y. This is what I am doing. So x value is known, y value is known, I have to find the r. So how do I get this r now? R is equal to x plus y. Okay, if you say that, that is not going to work because you have not overridden the operator. Okay, but the method that you are given over here is a static method. Shared means static. So you have to go to the distance and then put a dot, and then you have an option called as sum, and you put x comma y. Suppose if you have overridden the plus operator, then definitely you would have got something. Okay, but you have not done, what to do? You have not done means then you have to follow what Visual Basic has to say. So you have distance and you find the sum of it, and last thing that I'm going to do is a console, like your Visual Basic, console dot read key, READ, read key. Okay, you have it even in your C#. Visual Basic is one and the same. You don't get something new. Save it and let's give it a try. Hope I have not made any mistake. So I'm going to just run it and see whether I get the result. So when you run it, it may take slightly longer time. So the first feet is 10 feet, and second one is say 10 feet 5 inches. That's for the first number. Second number is 2 feet and 9 inches. Okay, what is the answer? I am getting it. See, look at here, 9 plus 5. What is 9 plus 5 is 14. Okay, so 9 plus 5 is, look at, the only thing is 9 plus 5 is 14. Subtract 12 from this one. So what is left over is 2. Are you getting the inches as 2? Okay. Now above 12 means you have to carry 1. Remember, above 60 minutes means 1 hour, so 1 you have to carry. 10 plus 2 is 12 and you have carried 1, so this is 30. Hope you get that thing. That's all, and in this we will meet again in the next class. Thank you.